Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is me, 8744. And today, guys, we have so much to discuss in the Champions League, guys. So this is like a little quick reaction. Of course, we'll have a live stream and around 30 minutes from now, actually 20 minutes from now, to break down all four Champions League matchups. And we're going to have guests come on. So if you guys are interested, just subscribe to the channel and follow me on YouTube because the links will always be there in the community tab. Anyhow, with this game, man, let's start with the first game, guys. Let's start with Arsenal Real Madrid. Let's start with that game first. Let me just get my image up here. Wow. I can't believe it, guys. I cannot believe this just happened. See, did I expect Real Madrid to come back? Of course, I did not. I said after the first leg that we're not going to come back. And the big issue for Real Madrid wasn't even the fact they were scoring the goals. It was the defense. The defense was just a calamity there. And we saw today how Real Madrid put out Alaba at left back, and Alaba basically got annihilated. Saka basically owned him. Saka basically destroyed him. But I still expected the Real Madrid to put out a commendable performance, put out some fight, put out a spirited performance, put out like the performances we saw Dortmund and Villa did yesterday. Like even though they lost the aggregate, at least put out a good fight. Real Madrid did nothing like that. And you know what the crazy thing is, guys? At halftime, they had zero shots on target. And Real Madrid fans, at Real Madrid, I was seeing on my timeline, like Vinicius Jr. was speaking before the game. Tomorrow, 9 p.m., I will be there. And there's a reason why Vinicius is very much disliked by most of the fans because of his ego and his antics and everything like that. And personally, for me, I like Vinicius. I do like Vinicius, but his antics and ego is a big problem. And I will, if I was a Real Madrid fan, I'll be annoyed at him because he is doing so much of this because as a footballer, we know when he's on it, he's a really good player. We saw Real Madrid in the last couple of seasons. He's been the main guy to save Real Madrid in the Champions League. He's been there week in, week out, and delivering. But this season, it just hasn't been going. And for Real Madrid, as I said, Mbappe didn't look great. Bellingham didn't look great. And let's be real, Real Madrid over the course of this game really offered really nothing. They only had the goal from Vinicius, which was basically a Saliba mistake, and yeah, Real Madrid created chances towards the end, but Arsenal were just in cruise control. They were just relaxed. They were just defending. Arsenal knew how to do, and you have to give a massive credit to Arsenal. To defeat the 15-time UCL champions and this kind of fashion 5-1 is an outstanding performance. Probably the best performance I've seen Arsenal play in the Champions League for quite some time. And remember, this is Arsenal's second season back in the Champions League for some time. Because remember, the last time they were in the Champions League before last season was 2016, guys. And you have to give credit to Saka. He easily made up his mind by scoring because obviously he missed the penalty there. Bad foul there from Asensio, which in my opinion shouldn't have been a penalty. Then obviously Rice also fouled Mbappe. That wasn't a pen. For me, both shouldn't have been given, but you know it is what it is. Neither of which were scored, so I guess justice is served. But then Saka, man, he came a clutch in the second half, scoring the crucial goal there. Great build-up play there from Rice, Odegaard to Saka. It was such a lovely combination, and I thought Arsenal were looking great. Arsenal were looking great, and then obviously Martinelli scored from a great counter attack there at the end. So you have to give a lot of credit to Arsenal there and Arteta what he's been able to achieve because might be one of the biggest wins they've had in their history. Because obviously before this game, they had obviously defeated Real Madrid 1-0 in aggregate 2006, but that was a really good Arsenal team. They had the likes of Thierry Henry. And I know that Real Madrid team was good. You know, you had the Galacticos like David Beckham, Zidane, and everything. But obviously, that team wasn't functional. You know, there's a reason why the Galacticos underperformed. And you could say, in some essence, that this Real Madrid team is almost like the Galacticos from the past. You know, the only difference is that they're not as good as quality as before, obviously. But in terms of high superpowers, high superstars, you can make that argument. So, like, you know, the likes of Vinicius, Mbappe, Rodrigo. And coming into the season, many Real Madrid fans thought, okay, we probably won't be able to defend our Champions League, but at least make the semifinals. You know, which Real Madrid have always generally done in the last couple of years. Like even when they don't win the Champions League, they always at least make the semis. And obviously, the last few seasons they did go out the round of 16, but obviously, you know, they were in a really bad time. You know, obviously Ronaldo left and everything. But now it's a quarterfinal exit. And you know what's really interesting, guys? The last time they went out the quarterfinals was against Monaco in 2003, 2004. So it's been quite some time since Real Madrid have been eliminated in the quarterfinals. Sorry, 2004, 2004, 2005, I believe. That was the last time. So, yeah, for Real Madrid, as said, man, it's just really bad, really embarrassing. This is one of the most embarrassing Champions League exits they have in years. I think the only one you can maybe say that's as bad is maybe the Ajax one. Um, but Arsenal defeated them both games. That's insanity. See, I thought Real Madrid would maybe win this game and you know lose on aggregate in a kind of respectful fashion. But to lose both games against Arsenal is really embarrassing for Carlo Ancelotti, and I think Carlo Ancelotti's getting sacked. I think there. I wouldn't be surprised the next few days Carlo Ancelotti gets sacked because Real Madrid they only have Copa del Rey, La Liga to fight for, and if we're being real, the Copa del Rey finals against Barca, and given how good Barca have been this season, eh, it's really hard to fancy them, and it is a Copa del Rey. Whereas for La Liga, Barca are 4 points. They have a 4 point gap, but Barca looking amazing. So I don't know, man. I think if you're a Real Madrid fan, you have this season is pretty much over. This, even though mathematically it's not over, I think mentally Real Madrid's going to go through a lot. So I may do a video on Real Madrid the next couple of days discussing about their downfall, everything. Um, Maybe in a few days from now, but we'll see, of course. But yeah, credits has to be into Arsenal for what they achieved, and I thought they were fantastic. And for me, Arsenal is one of the best defensive teams in the world. Like defensively, outstanding defensively. I thought defensively over to two legs, they were fantastic, and there's a reason why they're one of the best defensive teams in the world. Anyways, moving from the Real Madrid one, let's talk about Bayern Inter real quick. Um, for Inter, man, as a set, man, they really made it a lot harder for themselves than they should have. And I was surprised at how underwhelming Inter were because I think in the first half you could see that Bayern were more urgent and more pressing for the goal. And obviously Bayern were obviously one goal behind on aggregate, so you would expect Bayern to be more motivated, more up for this. But credit to Bayern because I thought Olise, man, you got to be scoring that chance. You got to be scoring that chance the first half. That was a big chance there missed, and obviously you know, what is it called? Inter, you know, Bayern got the lead there. Harry Kane. And I think it was okay, Harry Kane finally shows up a big game. Will Bayern finally deliver? Then Lautaro, man. And I'm sorry, this is what I've said with Bayern this season. People are saying Bayern's attack has been the issue this season. It's not been the attack. It is the defense. The defense for Bayern keeps letting them down there because I'm sorry, that defending there from Bayern was so bad. Like I don't know what Kimmich was doing there. Bad clearance there to give Lautaro the goal there. You could say it was kind of a bit of a lucky finish. Lautaro did get kind of got lucky that he was able to get another shot there. But regardless, you shouldn't be giving them on a you shouldn't be given like a chance like that. That's a really big chance that Lautaro scores, and the guy is made for big moments, guys. He's been one of Inter's most consistent players in the Champions League for quite some time, and there's a reason why he's Inter's top scorer in the Champions League. You have to give credit to that. Then obviously and then Inter got a corner there. Pavard with a brilliant header to make it 2-1. And you know, so okay, Inter are finally going to advance, right? Then Dyer had other plans. He scored the header there to make it 2-all on the day. Obviously, Bayern still needed another goal. And yeah, Bayern were pushing for it. And obviously, Sommer making big saves there. And you know what's crazy, guys? I think Coleman had a last minute chance there, and it got saved by the keeper. And then Mueller, I think, had a really good chance at the end. So this will be Mueller's final game for Bayern in his Bayern career, obviously, because he announced he's going to leave at the end of the season. Yeah, for Bayern, I think they good out a commendable showing. Because remember, guys, Bayern didn't have Musiala available this game. They didn't have, obviously, Alphonso Davies available. They didn't have Upamecano available. They didn't have a lot of players available. And the fact that Bayern put out a really good performance is commendable. But what's been Bayern's letdown is the defense. I'm sorry, the defense is just terrible. I think some Bayern players have to leave this summer. I'm sorry, Kim and Jay, I think has to go. Maybe Eric Dyer. I know he scored that goal there, but as a center back, I just don't really rate him that highly. And I think Bayern needs to move on from those two center backs. And they got to start Upamecano, um, um, Upamecano for sure. And they got to find another center back and maybe go with what's it called? I forgot his name. The Japanese center back Ito. I think Upamecano Ito are probably the two best center backs they have. So for Bayern, as I said, man, it's difficult because I think they did put out a great performance in the last couple of years. Bayern have had bad UCL exits, but I think this one they can feel very proud of the fight they gave against Inter. And they only lost by 1 goal margin. They only lost by 1 goal margin, which you have to give credit to Bayern. I thought they were fantastic in that sense. But of course, the defense let them down. So I hope you guys did enjoy this little mini review. Let me know if there's any major talking points in the comments below, guys. And yeah, I'm look forward to seeing you guys on the stream, guys. Remember, guys, like, subscribe, and peace out.